Here's a power tip for you bloggers out there. So when you're creating a blog on your website, make sure that all of the pages within your blog live in a directory. So normally we would call this something like blog or something like that. It can really be called anything. But here's why this is so important. Because first of all, here's what this looks like. So I'm on my blog, and if I were to click on any of the links on my blog, it takes me to a page, and in that page, the URL or the address includes the word blog, or it can be anything you want, just make it consistent. So the idea here is that this is actually, if you look at the URL structure or the page address structure, the name of this page is Google My Business Pro Tips Joe Danzer, and that lives in the folder or the directory called blog. So here's why this is important. If you were to go into your Google Analytics and you were curious about the results from your blog, which you should be, then wouldn't it be nice if you could easily look at the results or the data as it relates to just your blog posts? Well, of course it would. Because if you have a strategy to drive awareness through your blog, then you want to know, and maybe the rest of your site, there's different strategies for different pages, which is totally fine. That's normal. But if you really want to tune in on just that blog traffic to see if your activities are driving the results you want, then you want to kind of filter out everything else and you just want to look at the blog traffic. But if all of your pages are just sort of all over the place, or they're not all in one singular directory, it's going to be really hard to find a common thing between all those pages so that you can filter out everything else and just look at blog traffic. Here's what I'm talking about. So I've gone into my Google Analytics data and I'm looking at my site content report, the all pages report. And this tells me about the traffic to all of the pages of my website. And then I can go into this advanced search feature here, and I can just type in the word blog. So basically what I'm telling Google Analytics is to show me the data for any page that includes the word blog. But as you can see here, it doesn't look like I have a lot of traffic to my blog, which is kind of weird. Only 165 page views in 1 month. Now this is last month, but here's why. The reason is we had a blog landing page that was at bootcampdigital.com/blog, but all of the other blog pages were set up as if they were in the root or just part of the address. So it was actually, like this one, for example, would have been bootcampdigital.com/ this would have been gone, and it looked like this, Google My Business Pro Tips. So the problem with that is if the word blog doesn't appear in it, it's really hard to go over here and say, hey, Google, just tell me all of the, the traffic for just the blog. So what you can do is you can actually change your settings. If you have WordPress, it's super easy to do. You can actually change your settings and move all of those pages into a blog. So when you do that, here's what you'll find. Now you're probably looking at this going, wow, all of a sudden you got a ton of new traffic to your blog. Not necessarily. Here's what we've done. We've applied the same filter, but you can see that in our page names here, or our page URLs, you can see all of our blog names, because now all of our blogs live in what looks like the blog directory. So, and that's why this is the point where I made that change. And now we're tracking all of the traffic. So now I can go and I can look at all the traffic as it relates to my blog only, and I can look at my average time on page. I can look at the average bounce rate and so on. So I can look at all these things to say, wow, am I sending traffic? Am I sending traffic by search? Am I sending, you can look at all these things, but do it only for what appears in your blog. So now you're thinking, wow, that would make a lot of sense. It would be a lot easier for me to look at the data and see if I'm getting results that I want out of my blog if I could just look at the data for my blogs only. And gee, I really made a mistake when I first designed my website because I didn't build the URLs just right. But that's okay. If you have WordPress, it's a super easy fix. Here's how. You just simply go into your settings. It's the settings on the left side of your page. And when you hover over the settings, you'll see all of these drop downs. And permalinks is what you're looking for. Then what you'll do is you'll choose custom structure, then you'll do /blog, and then the %, post name, %. So this is basically the syntax that will rewrite all of your URLs so that all of your blog posts now live in a /blog directory. And then you can go back into your Google Analytics once you've made this change, and from that point moving forward, you'll be able to filter your traffic to look at just traffic from any page that has the word blog in it. Or, you can name it anything you wanted, really. It just makes it a little bit more consistent. So this makes it super easy for you to set it up. Now, here's one more thing that you might be thinking. Maybe you're thinking, wow, now this is super easy to do, but if I had all of these pages in my blog that now have a different page URL, did I just create a bunch of broken links? Well, first of all, you get a gold star if you're thinking this way, because that means you know what you're talking about when it comes to SEO. Have you taken my SEO course online? Maybe you have. But if you haven't, there's an SEO course online that will teach you how to do this and so much more. But here's what we're talking about. When you change the URL or the address of a page, that old URL becomes a broken link. What if somebody was linking to that old URL or had it bookmarked, and then they click on it and then they get a 404 error page? That's not good. Even worse, what if the search engines come back to that page and they go, oh, this page is no longer active? They're just going to pull the page out of their index and it's just not going to rank anymore. But you still have the content there. So that's why a 301 permanent redirect is the solution to this issue. Now, in our online trainings on bootcampdigital.com, we actually have a tutorial that will show you step by step how to set this up and how to set up your 301 redirect. But basically what you need to know is that if you want to track your blog traffic specifically and filter out everything else so you can really get a good idea of the results you're getting out of your blog, you need to make sure that all of your URLs have a common denominator that you can filter out in Google Analytics. If you have WordPress, this can easily be changed by changing the custom structure of your permalinks. And then make sure you set up 301 permanent redirects, which is going to point the old domain or the old URL to the new URL. So basically what that 301 permanent redirect does is it's code that you place on your server, and our online training course will tell you exactly how to do this, and it will basically point that old page to the new page so that if it's bookmarked, if it's linked to, or if the search engines try to find that old page, all of the humans and the search engines will be redirected to the new page that you've created with the new URL of the page. So this is a super easy fix. It's not that hard to set up the 301 redirects either. We make it easy because we have those great online trainings at bootcampdigital.com. So if you want to learn more about the results that you're getting from your blogs, make sure that your blog posts have a URL structure that's easy to filter out in your Google Analytics. And if you do have to change your URL structure, make sure you set up those 301 redirects. Check out our trainings online at bootcampdigital.com and you'll learn this and a ton more of super awesome, amazing power tips to make your digital marketing work better for you.